This week's Nature Now is all about flowers. What kind of flowers do you have in your yard? This is a flower to wild strawberry. Look at those little flowers on this red dead nettle plant. Do you have this in your yard? So why do plants make flowers anyway? Well, it's all about making seeds. This is a redbud tree, and if any of the flowers get pollinated, it will be able to produce these seed pods and create more redbud trees. These are seed pods I found on the ground from last year. So what's helping flowers spread their pollen? Pollinators, of course. Everything from flies to beetles to bees to butterflies and even bats are all different kinds of pollinators. Even wind is a pollinator. Wind helps spread pollen from certain trees like oaks that have these dangly flowers called catkins. They don't need to be pretty flowers because they're not trying to attract insects. All they need is the wind. I'm going to teach you parts of a flower so then you can go outside and see if you can name the parts of a flower. You probably already know the name of those big yellow things. Those are the petals. But let's look a little deeper. What's that tall thing in the middle? That is called the pistil. This is where pollen can get stuck to. All those little fuzzy yellow things around it, those are the stamen. All of those stamen have pollen on it. When pollinators visit different flowers, they get the pollen from the stamen on them, and when they visit another flower, it rubs off on the pistil of that plant. That's how pollination works. Bees are super fuzzy, and so when they go and visit flowers, pollen gets stuck to them when they're getting nectar, and they spread the pollen when they go to a new flower. So you can practice being a bee. You can get a flower like a daffodil, look inside, and you can see there are the stamen and the pistil. Get a Q-tip, pretend this is your little bee body. Stick it in the flower like you're getting nectar. When you bring it out, there should be a bunch of pollen stuck to your little bee body. Now we're gonna pollinate another flower. Put your little bee in the flower, pretend to get some nectar. Nom, 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 nom. And when you come back out, make sure you brush against that sticky pistil so the pollen gets stuck to it. You just pollinated a flower. This daffodil actually already got pollinated and it's already started making its seeds. Watch, I'll show you. You can cut it open. Look inside. And there are the seeds that are starting to develop. This is a dandelion. Bees have ultraviolet vision, so when they see a dandelion, they see this. It looks red in the middle to attract them to the center of the flower. Another thing you probably didn't know is that a dandelion is actually a bunch of little flowers together. We call this a composite flower. You see those little curly cute things? Those are the pistils of each individual flower. This flower has the stamen, or the part with the pollen. And this flower has the pistil, the part that is sticky that the pollen gets stuck to. Once a dandelion gets pollinated, it makes seeds that can blow in the wind. This helps the dandelion spread its seeds far and wide. One other cool thing about dandelions is that you can eat them. What other flowers can you find in your yard? If you find a violet, try dissecting that too. Can you find the pistil, that sticky yellow part in the middle where pollen gets stuck? The orange things around it is the stamen, which has filaments with anthers full of pollen. Believe it or not, you can eat violets too. The flower is edible, and so are the leaves. Look for that heart-shaped leaf when you're looking to identify violets. Now it's your turn to go and explore what kind of flowers you have in your backyard. Here are the rules for eating wild plants. 1. Always ask for parent permission. 2. Only eat the plant if you are 100% sure what it is. 3. Do not eat a plant from a place that has been sprayed with pesticides or fertilizer. And 4. Stay away from places that have runoff from a nearby road.